Okay, you went to Portland State, PSU.
Mm-hmm.
PSU alumni, great.
Yep. Majored in marketing with a minor in advertising.
Who's your favorite professor?
My favorite professor was actually a statistics professor.
Outside of the marketing curriculum?
It was, yeah. I just really liked his demeanor, his approach, and his name was Mr. His last name was Allen. In marketing specifically, I had a great professor who went by, her first name is Maureen, and she's well known in the advertising community.
Who is that?
Maureen.
Maureen who?
Her last name is escaping me right now. I believe it is O'Connor, actually. Maureen
We
O'Connor.
work with Maureen. She sends a number of people over here for our internship program.
Okay. Yes.
I see you've done an internship
Yeah.
already at Fish Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that work out for you?
Yeah, so my last 3 months of college, I was ready to hit the ground running. I was focusing heavily on advertising classes at that point in time, and I wanted to get my foot in the door, so I applied at Fish for an internship, and to which they hired me as an intern, and
How long was
it was a 3-month
it? Paid or
internship.
not paid?
Non-paid. Well, there's a stipend, but essentially non-paid.
Okay.
So I did that for 3 months, and my graduation date as well as the internship date, they coincided together as far as the end dates, and they offered me a full-time position outside of once the internship was completed. And I've been at Fish now for about 2 years, and I was the only intern that they have hired, one of a very select few.
Good. You were brought on as a project coordinator,
Mhm.
you're currently a brand coordinator. There's really 4 parts of any agency:
Yeah.
project management, brand management, leadership, and financial.
Mm-hmm.
And some agencies PR,
Mm-hmm.
and of course creative.
Absolutely.
Of all of those 5, which area do you prefer to work in?
Certainly client services. Yeah. I started as a coordinator. Their Fish's intention was always to have me be in client services, and that was solely just kind of based off my personality. They thought I was outgoing, good with people, so that was kind of the area, the direction that they wanted me to go, but they wanted me to see the inner workings of an agency. I was very fresh, so they figured that starting me as a project coordinator was the best way to kind of see the kind of a lot of projects from start to finish and really get to understand what we do.
Okay. What are the 3 most important, in your opinion, what are the 3 most important personal attributes for an account executive, account manager, an account coordinator, whatever, the account client services portion of
Yeah.
it? What are the 3 most important attributes for an individual to be successful in that arena?
That's a great question. I think certainly relationship building, from being able to have a number one, trusted relationship with the client, and communication, I think, is huge, both verbal and written. And I think the 3rd most important would be ideas. I think you have to generate. Big ideas. I think that's what separates.
Well, those 3 attributes, relationship, communication, and idea generation, which one is your strong suit? Where do you think you excel in those?
I think I think I have just a natural ability to build relationships with people. So I have to say that I think that is kind of my natural ability that I've been able to utilize thus far. I've been in client relations for almost a year now, and I have some really solid relationships with a variety of clients that we work with, and I've been able to develop those, in less than a year. So I think that is something that I am good at.
Well, Fish seems to be pretty keen on you. They brought you in as an intern. They hired you after that. I assume you're working your way up through the organization. Why would you be prepared to leave Fish?
That's a great question. I think it's difficult. I do have great relationships now with everyone at Fish. I think they think really highly of me and vice versa. But I'm at a point in my career where I am, I want to develop and to continue to develop my skills. And I think earlier on in your career, it's best to move around, have new experiences. I already kind of find myself getting comfortable there, perhaps maybe a little too comfortable.
So what I'm hearing you saying, you're not thinking about working here for more than 2 or 3 years before you move on.
No, that's not necessarily true. I guess it just depends.
You said it was pretty important early in your career to move around.
No, I think that
here at HMH, we take pretty good care of our employees. We've got a great benefits package, and we kind of expect loyalty in return.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I can reciprocate that loyalty, but it really depends on how I'm feeling at the time. Right now, I feel like I've kind of almost maxed out my capabilities at Fish, and I'm ready to take another step up, which is why I'm applying for the account supervisor position. I'd like to take that next step, and that position is not available at Fish. We have coordinators. Currently, the structure is we have account coordinators, and then we have brand directors. So it's a big gap. There's not a manager or supervisor position.
Well, not only do we have those similar positions here at HMH, but we also have senior titles at each of those. So as individuals demonstrate performance at any of those levels and are deserving of the raise, but they're perhaps not quite ready managerially or not quite ready, the organization is not quite ready to accept them, we will move you up salary-wise to a senior position, expect a little bit more out of you, but not quite to the next level. Something you can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's totally fair. And I really think that just taking that next step is what's important to me. And it sounds like you guys have a structure that there are more positions in place compared to Fish.
Describe your typical day for me.
Wow. I do a lot of things at Fish. It's a pretty scrappy agency. So there are, it's about a 15-person agency, so we all wear a lot of different hats. I am currently, I manage our, on top of being a brand coordinator, so point of contact for clients. I am also managing our social media for several clients. I work with about, I'd say 5 different clients right now, ranging from the hospitality industry to the fishing boat industry. And I am a point of contact on a daily basis to those people. For some clients, certainly more so. An example would be Hallmark. We do their monthly emails, and we do 2 email sends a month, and it is there's a very intricate approval process that goes into those emails. So that takes up a lot of my time. I am involved with social media on a daily basis. That's something that requires my attention on a regular basis.
Describe your day logistically and timeline. What time you come in, what time you go home.
Okay.
Are there any specific functions that must be done in the morning or must be done before, immediately after lunch?
Yeah.
Structurally, how does your day work?
Absolutely. It's a pretty free structure at Fish. I'd say I arrive anywhere between 9 and 9:30. But I typically check my computer at home right when I wake up. Obviously, the first thing I do is check my emails, make sure that if a client needs anything, that it gets into the queue right away. Typically, we try to have that, plan for it a little ahead of time than just that day. But if a client, so I check my emails, respond to any clients that have any questions, and then from there, I in the morning as well check social media. Lunch happens around anywhere between 12 and 1. I typically come back after lunch, make sure projects are moving along, from internal approval to projects that are with client review, return emails again, check social again in the afternoon, and then I'll leave anywhere between 6 and 6:30 typically. And I also bring my computer home with me. So
what do you mean? You said you're involved with social media.
Yeah.
I mean, that's there's Twitter, there's Facebook,
Yeah.
there's Instagram. I just goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it's more coming all the time.
Yeah.
And what platforms do you personally contribute to for your clients?
So
and what are those contributions?
Absolutely. So again, social media is kind of it's obviously not what a normal brand, a brand manager, brand coordinator would typically be doing. But I said at Fish we wear a lot of hats. At this point in time, our social media is a new service that we're offering, so we haven't quite figured it out. And being a younger millennial, I think I have a very organic understanding of how it works. And our current social media team was not performing up to standards that we had. And I had been involved during my internship with a couple social media accounts, and they had then asked me to take over our social media management. So I'm managing several platforms for organic social, and that ranges from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and it's all from again, the service that we're offering is organic that I'm managing, organic social media. But Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Without mentioning his or her name,
Mm-hmm.
who was the worst person that you ever worked for, and why? What would you learn by that?
The worst person I ever worked for, as far as just their qualities.
Sure.
I think this individual was selfish, kind of self-centered. Had I look at a leader or as a boss, as someone that wants to contribute to your growth, especially for someone in a role that's a young, kind of a younger person, if you will. I would say that this person was relatively self-centered, had their own personal interests at mind, and closed off, not a good communicator, as well as I think not really willing to help me grow, and again, or to see my interest.
What do you think you need from a manager to help you grow? What areas you want to grow in, and what type of mentoring could a good manager do for you?
I think that's a great question. I think you need.
I know I asked that question.
I think a good manager helps you grow by letting you make mistakes, but helping you see those mistakes and teaching you how to be better and not make those same mistakes again. I think they are.
Have you ever made a mistake and had to cover it up?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How do you feel about that ethically? Was your
Um,
customer, was your client aware of the mistake?
yes. Yeah. Yeah, they were.
But it wasn't really recovery. It was a recovery.
It was a recovery. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was a recovery, not necessarily a cover up. I think when you try and cover something up, a client will eventually find out, and if they do find out, that can be very damaging. So it's best to just solve the issue at hand as best as you possibly can with the resources that you have, and then work with the client to make sure that those mistakes don't ever happen again. And they typically understand. You know, we're all humans. We all make mistakes.
Good, good. Are you familiar with downtown Portland?
Yes.
So let's say downtown Portland from the PSU campus
Okay.
all the way in the south to Burnside in the north. Let's say about 18th Street where the stadium is.
Yeah.
All the way down to First Street where the river is. So those are your boundaries. PSU to Burnside,
Okay.
the river.